Hello, my dear friends, new and old, welcome. And I thought I would take a minute and make a short video of the end of this one that I'm coloring, this little girl and the lilies, and just show you how I'm coloring the lily. So I'm using 3 colors. I'm using the pale viridian, I'm using the poppy red, I'm using the orange, and then I'm also using the sunburst and the Spanish orange. So the first thing that I started out by doing was taking the poppy red and I'm just coloring. Let me move this down where you can. And all I'm doing is coloring each and every one of these little dots, and I'm coloring them, trying to get them really heavy, because when we start coloring our petal, it's going to kind of disappear, but it won't. But if you don't get a good little heavy press down on each one of these, they will disappear, and it won't be that easy to go back over the top. And just reinforce it. So I went ahead and just did them all. Now this one's shaped a little different, but it's still going to come out the same. We'll just say it'll be the hardest flower so you can see how to do this one. And again, we're using 3 colors. So we're done with this color. So basically, let's see, the Spanish orange. These two are so close to the same color. But I'm going to take the sunburst now, and I'm going to do the inside of this flower, including the little stems and these little stamens. And again, I'm giving it a good little coat, pressing it in, because I don't want them to disappear if I accidentally go over them. I'm trying to see where this, and I can't tell because it wasn't drawn that great. So now I'm going to take my pale viridian, and I'm just going to give it a little color right on the back end of these little stamen, and leave it like that. And I'm going to take my viridian. I have to look at my colors because I can't tell by just looking at them. So to start with, at the bottom, I am going right over the top of all of this. I'm just kind of getting really light up here. Then I'm going to switch to my Spanish orange. And I'm going to fill in the whole bottom. Like that. Now I'm going to switch to my orange. And I'm going to start from the very bottom. And if you can go over your little dots now, go over them. Around them. Don't go over them if possible. So we don't want to put any more wax on them than we've already done. I just thought you might enjoy seeing how I did this lily. So now I'm going to come around the edges and just lighten up. And I want to leave some of this yellow. But I'm going to come around the edges. It's kind of like that. Okay. So now I'm going to switch back to my Spanish orange. And again, I'm going to start from the very bottom of this petal. And I'm going to go over the whole leaf, everything, from the bottom to the top, just like that. So what I'm doing down at the bottom is I'm now doing its final blending. And I'm going right over the top of my yellow. And that makes a really pretty leaf. Okay? So we're going to do the same thing all the way through this. And so we always start with our viridian, our pale viridian. And we just give it a little fill in. I'm not pressing, I'm just coloring in, going right over my dots. They're fine. And you can see how these are. We'll come back over them with that darkest color when we get done and just reinforce the color of them. But you can see I got out of line on some of my dots. It just didn't matter because it all ended up, that one's a little far off, but the rest of them are pretty close. But it's all going to work out for the good of the leaf. So now back to our Spanish orange. And I'm just coloring down into the viridian also. And it's, again, a light coat. So now we're going to switch back to our orange. And these are Prismacolors. And now we're going to go all through here. This is our second coat. So when we come through here with our Spanish orange, the yellow. then that's going to give us our finished burnishing. It will take away all the little white spots that we have left and just give it a beautiful smooth look. But this is all it takes to do what I did. So I kind of like to start back at the top. But you can do it however it's comfortable for you. But we're going to leave some of that yellow alone. So now we're going to take our Spanish orange, and this is our third or fourth. This is the fourth. We did 1, 2, 3. This is our third. So now we just want to make sure we get all of our little white spots. Keep rotating your pencil because you'll find that little sharp edge on the opposite edge of your flat, because when you color and color, that gets flat, and you rotate it, you get a nice little sharp edge. So you don't have to keep sharpening your pencil. Just rotate it. And just roll it around in your hand. So just keep going over until you get all the little white spots basically filled in. Definitely go right over the top of your spot that you left. And that makes a very pretty just take your time, go in between all of these little stamens. And this gives a nice variety of yellows and oranges in for your flower. And that's all I did. Let's see, where are we? Put my finger so I can see where we're at. So I can see where I am, that you can see me. All right. So again, I'm using 3 colors. It just seems to be the rule to make things really pretty. Now, I'm going to press just a little bit more at the end of this leaf because it's turned. See how it comes under? So underneath this, I want to press just a little bit more, like that. And then we're going to finish up with our yellow, our Spanish orange. Like that. Now we're going to turn to our orange. come around the side. I don't want a ton of yellow showing, but I want enough to make it a nice okay. I kind of went over my little dots, which it's okay. We'll work it out. It's pretty simple. So you can come back. Again, you have to press it down pretty good. All of our little and it just kind of gives it a little bit of darkness to it, like that. Okay, so now we've got some turned leaves, and we're going to do it the same way. We're going to come in with a viridian. Say that 7 times real fast. Okay, so this time I'm going to take my yellow and I'm going to come pretty close. I want to leave a little bit on the edges so that it's, let's see, I need my orange. Remember, we're not pressing real hard, but we're giving it a little scrub of this color on it. And we'll come back with our yellow. Just kind of scrub that in and it'll turn just a little bit darker. And if you want to, since this is a turned leaf, you could take your darkest color and just kind of give it a little, just a little bit around the edges. And that's the color that we use for the center. That's the poppy red. And you just around the edge. Okay. So we might as well do this little guy. And I always have to, I look for the orange. I know that goes afterwards, so. And this has got some little turned up leaves too. So I'm going to leave this little edge alone for right now. I'm not going to go over it. Oops, you know what I did? So I forgot to put the yellow. I'm just going to erase some of it. Not all of it's going to. And it'll be okay. But now, where the little turned up part is, I am going to make yellow. Okay? No harm done. We're still okay. So now I'm going to take my orange. in and come out. Oops, I got out of line there. Let's see if we can get that off of there. Some colors are more stubborn than other colors. Okay, so now we're going to come back in with our yellow. I want to kind of leave those little turned up areas alone. Just leave them yellow. Like that. Then we could take a viridian and just kind of make a, like that. Now let's do this last leaf on here. What do I have? I have the one I needed. So I'll save some of the yellow in that area. I'm going to save just a little bit right in there. Okay, so now we're going to come in with our orange. I'll turn this a little bit, it's a little awkward. Go around our little yellow spots. Okay, now we're going to come back in with our yellow again and just kind of burnish it all. Blending and burnishing because this is our final coat on this leaf. Kind of like that, and then I'm going to take our poppy red and I'm just going to come in here across the top. And across the bottom here. And that's that. So now we've got this little bud, and all I did with it was I started out with the poppy red at the very bottom, giving it a good little coat. And then I switched to my pale viridian. It's Just kind of going into the top of it so that you can't see a hard line. And then I started lightening up. It was kind of like that. I took my orange. Yep, this is orange. Is that orange? Yeah. Just kind of went down into all of it. Yeah, I just kind of did them all just a little bit different. So I'm going to take my orange, my yellow. Go over all of it. This time it won't be the final thing. I'm going to come back with my Viridian. And just work it up a little bit. Then come back with your yellow and just finish blending it. And that's what I did to do this page. And the greens for the leaves, I just used Kelly green and cerulean green, and I just did every other leaf or a couple of leaves. And then I came back with the Kelly and just on the top and the bottom a little bit. And then I used the yellow, and then I came back in with it and just barely touched it around the corners. And I think everything else is pretty self-explanatory. So let me get up higher so you can see the whole picture. And didn't that turn out pretty? I thought you would just like to see how to color the orange lily. We're going to do this picture next, and I'll do the whole thing, including the flowers, next. So I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. Nobody's told you today that you're wonderful, amazing, and great. I'm telling you now. I appreciate you very much. I thank you for watching. I thank you for being a part of my family and being a part of my life. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And if you liked it, give me a tip, just like you would a waitress. Give me a thumbs up. And if you got any questions, just let me know in the memos. I'm happy to answer them.